Welcome back to The Muster Point, the podcast where we unpack the chaos, call out the crap, and occasionally wonder how we made it through service without being sectioned. I'm Stu Mendelson, former Royal Engineer, veteran of more pointless tasks than I care to remember, and a man once ordered to paint a rock. Just don't ask.
And I'm Steve Black, former 2nd Royal Tank Regiment, survivor of military admin, bullshit briefings, and the mysterious case of the ever-changing parade timings. If you've ever stood still in the rain, wondering what the hell you're doing with your life, welcome. You're among friends.
Today's episode is all about the madness behind the uniform. Those baffling rules, stitched up routines, and orders so mental you'd think they were dreamt up by a hungover Lance Corporal with a grudge.
We're talking form-filling purgatory, signature scavenger hunts, and the famous military logic. If it ain't broke, do it again, slower, with more shouting.
So whether you're a veteran still twitching at the word inspection or a civvy wondering why we all have trust issues with clipboards, strap in. It's time to lift the lid on the weird, wonderful and utterly bonkers world we once called normal.
This is the muster point, where common sense goes to die and we're here to laugh at the chaos because crying isn't on the dress code.
Welcome back, Steve.
Hello, it's been a while.
It has been a while since we've heard that theme tune.
Why's that?
Because I've been a poorly boy and I... Weak
engineer.
I'll tell you what, for 3 days last week, I didn't get out of bed and I called in sick to work. I didn't see my therapist. It all went a bit wrong. And if you go around my house now, so we've got sick children, my missus is sick. It's like a den of disgustingness.
Weakness.
But yeah.
Did you have an illness like what Mick would say, it would kill 1,000 tankies?
It'd kill 1,000 Micks. But no, it was horrendous, and you could probably tell that I've been working on the sex lines this weekend trying to make up for it, so my voice is a bit husky.
Yeah, I like it.
But what about you, Steve? I hear the man that doesn't have hangovers had a hangover this weekend.
I did.
Come on, tell us about it. Where you been?
I've been to Weymouth. Pride weekend. No, joke.
Do they have a Pride weekend in Weymouth?
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I bet they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a gay bar called The Closet, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I popped in.
Yeah, and then popped back out
Yeah,
again.
I was walking funny on the way out.
Did you go in there on your own?
Yeah, I did, yeah. I thought quite out.
So why was you down in Weymouth? Who was you down there
Tank
with?
Regiment reunion.
Oh, yeah.
Unofficial sort of reunion.
Yeah.
But
that was disgusting, wasn't it?
There were some creatures.
Yeah.
Some disgusting, filthy, disgusting creatures.
Yeah. How many of you was there?
I think there's about 40 people.
Yeah.
It was a good turn. And maybe a few more. It was a Friday, Saturday night. I only went for the Saturday night.
Why is that?
'Cause I'm weak. But I'll turn up Saturday and like the blokes from the day before were just disgusting.
Were they?
It was one lad, Slokes. He's a creature.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, did you have to bed down with them, did you?
no, I had my own room. I've got a hotel of my own, thank God.
Of course, fucking posho.
I know, yeah. But
Where were they staying then?
the caravan.
Oh, what a nice one.
No, all right, one on a Haven caravan site. It was all right. But I went round there on a Sunday morning and Slokes, fucking hell. He sat there in his pants, picking his arse, scratching he's just sat there pulling his balls out, playing with them, scratching his arse, and then smelling his fingers, going, cool, fucking hell. People are going to him, Slokes, go and have a shower. You're disgusting. He's like, no, I don't need to. I've got 72 hour shower. I've got 72 hour deodorant.
Yeah.
So he didn't have a shower for 3 days.
Oh, bless him. Has he got a missus, has he?
Yes, yeah.
Fuck, I bet she was glad to get rid of him for a
probably,
weekend.
yeah. But I think he's disinfected himself now.
Yeah.
Back at work. So, yeah.
Any stories from the night or night out from the weekend? Any good banter?
Loads of good banter. All the usual shit. I don't remember too much.
Oh, yeah.
A few of the lads said they're going to send me some funny stories and that. So,
Nice.
yeah. All the ones listening to the podcast said they enjoy it.
Happy days. Good feedback then.
Yeah. Nothing but good feedback. It's weird.
Happy days.
We had some fun. Me and my mate Cheats, because my mate Cheats lives halfway between here and Weymouth. So I drove to his house and then we drove together and we just laughed the whole way.
Yeah.
There was a bloke who was reminiscing about stupid things. And, you know, I don't know, you just talk bollocks, didn't you?
Yeah.
When we was in Fallinbostel, the cookhouse, there was this geezer called, we used to call him Keith.
Keith.
Because he had really bad teeth.
Keith the teeth.
And he was a civvy. And when Payers Your Dine come in, you get like a core meal and you can have like a bowl of soup and then like, a certain amount of food,
Yeah.
and then either a slice of bread or a yogurt. So we'd all get a slice of bread instead of yogurt, but Keith always give you a free yogurt.
Oh, good old Keith.
Yeah, you go up there and he'd go, you don't have any yogurt with that? He sounded a little bit
Where was he from?
He sounded like, what's his name, Tony Blackburn. Yeah, and he'd give you a free yogurt. And then he went on holiday, and we was all, a different woman took over, and we was going, do we get a yogurt? Keith gives us a yogurt.
Yeah.
Who's Keith? Like, the bloke normally goes, oh, that's Trevor. And, we called him Keith. And but yeah, so we got him in trouble.
Yeah. Did he come back, did he?
No, I think they sent him a Belson.
Excellent. Good on you, Keith.
But yeah, like I say, we're just laughing, stupid stories like that.
Was it like you hadn't been away?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Some of the blokes I haven't seen since I was in the army.
Yeah.
15 years ago, some longer than that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Was Bottle down there or any of the other lads?
He bottled it.
Fucking wanker.
Yeah.
Saving for a wedding, isn't he? Yeah. What about, you said that there were some new blokes.
Yeah, some new lads. I didn't know they'd joined up after I got out.
Yeah.
I've been out 15 years now.
Well, what were you like? Giving them the old nig treatment, were you?
I refused to talk to them.
Yeah, till they had your scrotum in your mouth.
Exactly.
Mouth.
Yeah. And then once they'd done that, I was all right with them.
Oh, yeah.
No, I had someone bought me a pint of vodka Red Bull.
Okay.
And it took me back about 20 years.
Yeah.
Dancing in a nightclub.
Yeah.
Walking out nightclub when the sun's shining.
What was that drink that you had? You mentioned the other week about, was it some Matlow give it to you at a wedding?
Oh, a teleporter.
A teleporter.
Yeah, that was just a fucking like a top shelf, basically. Yeah.
But this one teleported you back in time, did it? Made you feel like a young Steve.
Did, yeah.
Because you said to me that you couldn't get a taxi for life, love nor money
Sunday
in Weymouth
morning,
on a Sunday.
Sunday morning, I got up nice and early Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Shower and that, and I checked out by 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I got it Sunday, nothing's open.
Yeah.
So I walked around for a couple of hours, found Weatherspoons is open, so I had a breakfast, and then I had to walk to the caravan site, which was a few miles away. So
Yeah. With your bag of goodies.
I bought them all a bag of Lucozade and like what do you call it, like a junk food, hangover food,
comfort food,
armies and all that sort of shit, meat stuff, heavily processed stuff that you crave.
So Weymouth is still a good night out. Would you recommend it?
Well, we're saying that I only went to one pub. But,
oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went to Weatherspoons, which is just Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
So Sunday morning at 9 o'clock in the morning, I was having breakfast and a pint of orange juice, and there's about 20 people in there drinking.
Oh,
9 o'clock in the morning.
Horrible bastards.
Yeah, good lads.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, other than that, I only went to one pub. This pub, it's called the Admiral Hardy. Yeah, they put on like a nice spread.
Oh, did they?
Like, sausages and vol-au-vents and onion rings. It
was like a trip back in time with some vol-au-vents and that.
Yeah, and we went from there. We got a cab down to the seafront. We got to this nightclub, and it was too loud for me.
Was it?
Yeah, I couldn't. That's another thing. Everyone's deaf.
Yeah,
the amount of blokes who've got hearing aids now.
Yeah. But they're all going for their military hearing loss claim, aren't they?
Everyone's deaf. So I got to this nightclub, and I thought, I'm not going to enjoy myself in here.
Yeah,
it's too loud. So it was right near my hotel. So I just I went to bed.
Yeah,
that was about 11 o'clock, half 11.
Bloody hell! Went all the way down there for an 11 o'clock knockoff.
I've been drinking since midday.
All right, okay.
So yeah,
nice.
No, it's good weekend.
We're sat here in our Union flag waistcoats.
Yeah, why's that?
Why is it? Well, we've been invited to the what would you call it? The
VE Day concert.
The VE Day concert in London. So we thought we'd get some Union flag waistcoats. I've got bow tie as well. I ain't got it on, but you got
pervert.
Yeah, you've got a bowl. No, a bucket hat. Yeah,
only because I'm bald.
Yeah, fair one. Yeah. So we don't know what to expect from that, but we got invited down there, so which is good. Tomorrow at the muster point, you know what's happening, didn't you?
We've got our local MP popping in.
You reckon he'll turn up? He's got to, hasn't he? Because he's gone a bit quiet on the old emails. He's not responding to me.
Well, if we don't, Arthur's going to stab him.
Little Arthur Terrier.
He's going to rip his head off.
But yeah, we got him coming down, and I reached out to who did I reach out to? BBC Three Counties Radio. So that's not tomorrow. That's the week after. They're coming down to do some interviews. I think I've forgotten. I think she wants to interview us.
Is that with Andy Collins?
I don't know if Andy will be there, but it's Tara Dolby, who was the woman we met.
Yeah, she's really nice, yeah.
But they're also going to interview. I think we've lined up Bill, because he remembers VE Day firsthand. So he's lined up to talk to Three Counties Radio. So that would be fun. What else has been happening?
I know, it's been so long, hasn't it?
It has been long.
We had a couple of weeks off now, haven't we? We got well ahead of ourselves, and
we got all excited.
And then it all got blown out.
It must have been about 2.5 weeks ago we recorded.
Yeah.
I feel a bit lost, to be fair. Like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here, Steve?
Don't know.
Oh yeah. What about the football shirts?
Oh yeah, we've got a load of signed football shirts.
Yeah. So we're going to have
some bits.
Yeah, we've got a so for the VE Day event that we're hosting down at Stevenage, which is on the
11th of May.
Sounds about right. What time?
Sunday, the 11th of May at 12 till 3.
That sounds good to me, at Fairlands Valley Park. So we're having the VE Day event, and we've got some signed football shirts. I'm looking at one now, which is Barnet.
Who?
Barnet.
Who are they?
Is it Barnet? But you went down there and picked it up the other day, didn't you? And you told me a story that you got pulled over by a knife wielding nutcase on the motorway.
Yeah, some nutter. I don't know. Pulled out in front of me, and I bibbed him, and it wasn't even an aggressive bib.
Yeah.
And he started sticking his fingers up and waving what looked like a Stanley knife or something.
Oh, right.
So I overtook him and sort of gave him a little shake of the head as if to say, "You silly sausage."
Yeah.
And then he started getting more aggressive, and he started flashing me, getting right up my arse, trying to get me to pull over. So I did. And I've run a lot. For a big bloke, I can run quite fast, very short distances.
Yeah, like a rhino.
Yeah. And I put him back in his car. And I grabbed his hands and told him he's a naughty boy.
Yeah.
And I took his keys out of the car and threw them.
Did you?
Yeah.
Quality.
Because I just wanted to get away.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hurt him.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah. And then
he shit himself, did he?
He did. He started going, "Why are you getting all aggy, bruv?" And I said, "I'm not getting aggy, bruv. Just restraining you. And, I'm telling you shouldn't pull out in front of people.
Yeah.
And then stick fingers up."
Yeah.
So hopefully he's learnt a lesson. And to be fair, hopefully I've learnt a lesson as well.
And what was the lesson you've learnt, Steve?
Carry a baseball bat. I don't know. Maybe give people a bit more room when you're overtaking them.
Okay.
And expect the unexpected.
Oh, yeah.
But ultimately, I hate people.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
Especially knife wielding people as well.
I just don't get on with people, really. Yeah, people are arseholes. And then I got to Barnet.
Yeah.
And I was a bit distressed because of what just happened. And one of the blokes there started talking to me like I'm a bit of shit.
Really?
Yeah. So I forgot his name now. Some Eastern European bloke started shouting because I had a big dog with me.
Yeah.
I didn't realise you weren't allowed dogs. And he's going, I didn't see the sign, mate. Sorry. So I had to carry my dog in my hand.
Yeah.
But then on the way out, I did notice the sign. But the way I walked in, you wouldn't have seen the sign.
Yeah.
On a gate that was open. So I said to him, "I'm sorry," but spoke to me like shit still. And that's what I hate. Why do people have to be rude?
Yeah.
I've said I'm sorry. That's it.
Yeah. It was a mistake.
Yeah. But people still talk to you like shit, and that's what I really hate.
Yeah.
There's a series. It's an Australian one. It's called Mr. In Between. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I haven't. Okay.
And my missus says like I'm a bit like him. He just don't like people. He's like, this bloke's a lunatic. He's a hitman, you know. But not saying that's what I am. But people talk to him like shit.
Yeah.
And he
don't stand for it.
Yeah.
But this is the thing.
He's very polite. He's a very nice man.
Having served in the forces, you were spoken to like shit professionally. So fucking these civvies don't have a clue, do they? It's like fucking hell.
I'll treat people as I would like to be treated.
Of course.
Even if I don't like someone, I still treat them with respect.
Yeah.
And it really winds me up when people don't do it back to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
I got the shirt. Anyway.
You got the shirt. So yeah, we're having a sort of silent auction. We'll promote it on social media. You don't just have to come down to the VE Day celebration, but hopefully we can raise some money for the muster point.
Yeah, we've got loads of other shirts, haven't we?
Yeah, so what we got? We got
Liverpool.
Barnet. Oh yeah, so we've got a signed Liverpool shirt, and it's signed by Trent Alexander-Arnold, who potentially is going to Real Madrid in the summer.
I heard he was going to Stevenage.
Oh yeah, that was the rumour, wasn't it? But I think the heat and sunshine and weather in Spain sold it to him. So yeah,
the bins are better out there as well, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
the bins are terrible here. So,
but we have got a signed Stevenage Borough shirt. We've also got some Stevenage Borough tickets for next season. I think what else we got? Wrexham signed shirt, Lincoln City signed shirt, Southend signed shirt. Got loads of them. So keep your eye out on social media, and I'll start plugging them soon, and I'll come up with a strategy of how you can bid on them silently. But that's quite good. Oh, everything's positive, isn't it? Looking forward to the future of the muster point. I do have something else. Obviously, it wouldn't be a muster point with me without me having a moan about something. But I'm interested to know your take on the military covenant. You aware of it?
I am. I'm a forces champion or whatever it is, or covenant champion. I've done a course.
Okay. All right. So you've done a course. So what is your understanding of the military covenant?
They're supposed to support veterans, aren't they? Basically, in the workplace. You know, I've done mine. My mate Chrissy B signed me up to it. And I was supposed to pay for it. I actually spoke to because my employer isn't part of it for whatever reason. So I spoke to the boss. I said, "Look, can I do this course?" And he said, "Yeah, but we can't pay for it. What you left is you'll pay for it and then claim it back for expenses." So I said, "All right, I'll pay for it."
Yeah.
Anyway, Chris done it through Kent Police.
Okay.
So he works part of the police force. He's not a pig though. Actually, we're not saying that. Yeah.
He's not a police officer.
He's not a police officer. He does something else.
Yeah.
He collects samples out of uranium.
Well, what a job.
Yeah. He likes it though.
Oh yeah, I bet he does.
He's got this collection of like curly hairs. But
all right, come on, back to the point. What is your
so-
understanding of the military covenant?
Well, I've done a course and it was like a armed forces champion or something. It was just a few years ago, and it was just, I don't know, it was a bit of a weird one. It's about supporting veterans a lot more, being there for, and almost, to be fair, I thought it was a bit of a waste of time.
Yeah.
What I was doing, because it was almost just like pointing in people in the direction of all the charities, all the organisations, being a little bit more. I suppose it's not a waste of time because I was aware of it anyway.
Yeah.
But it makes people more aware of what's available to veterans, charity-wise, support, things like that.
Yeah.
And I think it links organisations up a little bit more.
Okay.
But it did feel like it was half-hearted.
Yeah. Like most of these government things. So the military covenant is basically for local authorities, local authority health boards, and it's to ensure that these local bodies pay, and I forget the legal wording for it, but basically they have to have due regard for somebody's service, and that somebody that's served should not be affected when it comes to their decision making. Now, that's it. Like it is fucking vague, and it's not like, so the MOD aren't ruled by it. Like central government isn't ruled by it. So NHS England
just seems to be a nice thing to have, like, you know.
Well, yeah, and there's no real accountability, because it's like the law states that you should have due consideration for somebody that's served. But what does that mean? Like, it doesn't mean that a veteran's entitled to a house. It doesn't mean that a veteran's entitled to priority healthcare.
In Wales, the other day, they announced that they want to pay ethnic minority teachers £5,000 more.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
Why should they not get treated? Like, this is why don't they do it with veterans?
Yeah,
That's a minority.
Yeah,
Probably
exactly.
more, it's probably a more.
Well, it's an underrepresented group.
But,
Yeah.
But it's just Why would people get treated differently?
Yeah, exactly.
But,
and so you see things like the Armed Forces Covenant Employers scheme, and you see on these company websites they can have a bronze standard, silver standard, or gold standard, but there's no legal requirement for companies to sign up to this. There's no. It's pretty vague, actually, what these different standards mean. It's a case of yes, we support the armed forces if they want to join the reserve. Yes, we promote veterans, but in reality, they don't. There's no accountability. They don't have to. They could pledge the world, and they don't have to. Nobody checks it.
Yeah. For instance, like my company, they're not signed up to it, but to be fair, they support me just as much as anyone else. Like, if you need the support, it's their sort of thing. Don't really, it's not great, because I did approach them about something and then it wasn't suitable.
Yeah.
But, I don't really get it.
But it's things like, so I mentioned a few weeks ago now about Southern Gas Networks, how they were, you go on their website, they promote themselves. I think they got a picture with one of the royals saying, yeah, we've got gold standard of this employee recognition scheme for the Armed Forces Covenant. And we were contacted by a guy down that way, down in Kent, called Dave Hook. He's said that I can use his name. So he's now applied for 10 different jobs with Southern Gas Networks. He hasn't had an interview. He hasn't been acknowledged. He hasn't had any feedback, right? Now, I mentioned when we last spoke about this that I'd put it on LinkedIn and I'd emailed the company, and I had a pretty rapid response from a recruitment manager within Southern Gas Networks called Lucy. I can't remember her surname, luckily, because I would be saying it, who said she was going to get in contact with Dave. Turns out she still hasn't. So I messaged her on LinkedIn. She's on holiday and she will get back to him. But
this is the bloke who applied for a job, got ignored or got rejected. So he applied with the same CV, but with his wife's name.
Yeah.
Got an interview.
Yeah, so that's what we originally, he came to us about or mentioned to us. Now I've been in contact with him again, and he's applied for 10 different roles.
Yeah,
Not even any feedback. Like,
see his message, and he said he's doing it for the fun of it.
Yeah. but this is it's just incredible. Like, how can I just don't get it? Like, these arseholes need to be held accountable for. So if you're listening to this, I don't know what you could do. I'm gonna keep fighting this because I think it's ridiculous, and it's another thing I'm gonna bring up with the MP tomorrow. And I want, because it's just fucking show, isn't it? Yeah. Like, look at us, what we're doing, but in reality, you're doing fuck all, Southern Gas Networks. Yeah, and so, I like, just email them stuff saying that you need to do more for veterans, because Southern Gas Networks need hold into account. And do you know what? They're probably not the only ones out there.
I'm sure most companies, well, not most, that's all right, because and this is what's not fair, because there's other companies I know do a lot. And there's smaller companies that are not even part of the Armed Forces Covenant, and we've got people who are helping us with our VE Day. Pretty sure they're
exactly, no, yeah,
and they're donating money to help us do this VE Day party.
You make a very good point there. I should give it a shout out. Yeah. So our VE Day event is being sponsored by MR Barrett Electrical in Letchworth. Mark Barrett and his son Ryan Barrett. And they, as you said, they just contacted us and said, if you need any support with anything, like, all we can do is say no. And we contacted them about the VE Day event because we weren't getting funding from anywhere else. And sound, let's do it. Yeah. It's incredible.
And another one, I know, like this Friday, we've got the Royal Tank Regiment veterans playing the Watford veterans.
Yeah.
You're reffing for, and I'm a cheerleader.
Yeah.
The Tank Regiment's kit's sponsored by Challenger Gas.
All right.
Which is my mate Aaron Gregory. He's in Weymouth. He organised the weekend. We just had. He's a heating engineer, so he does what heating engineers do. But he sponsored the Royal Tank Regiment veterans football team. But he sponsors two veterans. He sponsors two football teams in Weymouth as well.
Really?
Yeah, Challenger Gas.
Nice.
I'd say anyone who lives in Dorset, if you need any work doing, please try and use him.
And if you're in and around Hertfordshire, use MR Barrett Electrical in Letchworth.
These people need a bit of a
recognition.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Right. So for today's episode, we're talking the bullshit, basically. Not to be confused with punishments, which we've covered. We're talking more bullshit.
Yeah.
So today's icebreaker. What was the most pointless task you ever got ordered to do in the military, Steve? So we had this thing at 10 Squadron, right? And I think anyone in the military can relate to turning up to a parade 5 minutes before. And it's standard. And you can see you want to, it's like that thing, innit? Like, you start work at 9 o'clock. So you're there, turn your computer on if you've got a computer, but sat at your desk, in effect, to go at 9 o'clock. Not be walking through the door at 9 o'clock. And I think some of these civilians that I've worked with since sort of fail to remember that. But at 10 Squadron, it got to the point where we were parading 10 minutes before, 10 minutes before, 10 minutes before. And it become like a running joke to the point where we'd get fucking punished if we weren't there 15 minutes before the parade. And it was just, what on earth is this all about? There's no need for it.
I know people used to set their watch 5 minutes early and still get there 5 minutes before that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the biggest one, and quite a lot of people have said this to me, is weeding the tank park. Where, like in Germany, I've said before, we had this massive tank park, and it was all cobbled, and used to get like moss, not even weeds, just like moss growing in between.
Yeah.
We used to have to weed that. Normally with butter knife was the best tool.
Well, as a normal duty, we're not talking punishments here.
A few people have said, I think Tom Turner, Cheats, they've both said this. If we had a visit, like Tom Turner said, we had to do our tank park because the Scotch Dragoon Guards were getting a visit from a Royal.
Yeah.
So we had to do ours just in case he come over to our side. It's just pointless. Like, But I actually quite liked it.
Did you?
It's in the summer.
Well, was that because you were stood there like hands in pockets watching Sprogs do it?
We just had the radio on, Legends of Rock or something. In 3 CDs, you get in a newspaper or something. We have that down. And we just have a few beers and just crack on with a butter knife, scraping moss out of.
Nice.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
We used to call it the Tank Park Shuffle.
Yeah.
And that was sweeping up. So it'd be a bit we'd be in a big line.
Yeah.
And it's normally on a Friday morning. You drive all the tanks out the hangar, and you just all do the Tank Park Shuffle.
Yeah.
Like I say, Legends of Rock or whatever, just, dancing away to. And I quite enjoyed it.
You're a strange man, aren't you, Steve Black?
I've got 3 brain cells.
Easily pleased, but fair play to you. All right. Armed Forces and Veterans News. The thing I've noticed is Angela Rayner. Is she Deputy Prime Minister?
Yeah.
Is she Deputy? Yeah, I don't know. She's one of them. She's put the army on standby, or called the army into Birmingham to clear up the bins. Because obviously the bin men are on strike up there, and it's like a bloody third world country, isn't it? There's like black bags everywhere, rats infested, and it's the old duty. I know. Bring the old army in, shall we? If in doubt.
Yeah, it's not fair, is it?
But
then they did get a 6% pay rise last year, so
yeah,
more than I have got when I was in the army.
Well, that's a thing, isn't it? But it's that thing. It pisses me off because it's like, I think, like, you serve in the army and you do your bit, and you would do it, wouldn't you? Like if you're ordered to go and do that, you do it, and you do it to the best of your ability. And then, obviously the lack, it's like. The armed forces, veterans, and all that, we always seem to be like an afterthought, unless there's some bin. Oh yes, the bins need doing. It's
demoralising.
Yeah,
it's just they're using them as a weapon against the unions as well, because
exactly,
these bin going on strike. They haven't been paid. You've got to remember that. They've all got rent, mortgages, whatever they have to pay for. And it's coming up to the summer, so all the summer holidays and that, and they're not getting paid.
Yeah,
because they just want to pay. I don't know. Actually, I don't even know what the terms, but I'd imagine it's pay.
Yeah, of course.
And when the politicians all get a pay rise, and when I've seen them all getting questioned, why can't you give it back? And we can't give it back because it's too much paperwork to give our pay rise back.
Yeah.
And I think they get a massive pay rise, but they still got a decent pay rise.
Yeah.
And so I say I'm in support of them. I don't live in Birmingham.
Oh, no.
If it was me, I'd be burning my rubbish. I'd go over the park and have a bonfire every night.
Yeah.
And I'd encourage. No, so I wouldn't encourage. But that's what I would do.
Yeah.
But because they're saying there's rats the size of cats. Apparently rats give birth every 2 weeks, apparently, and they grow as big as they grow. They can just keep growing with it, within reason.
Yeah.
But if there's food there, they will just keep eating and getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. But if in doubt, bring the army in.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not what army. Not what the army are there for. That's not my.
I remember back in. I don't think it's happened recently, but I certainly remember back in the day, with the firefighter strikes and the British Army getting called in. And most of them were on Green Goddesses, weren't they?
Yeah.
And I think my brother-in-law, he was a Royal Marines bandsman, and he got put on one of these Green Goddesses to stand in. And he was down in a place called St Paul's in Bristol, which is meant to be like, put it this way, there's car fires every other day and that. And you just think, like, because those Green Goddesses were like terrible, weren't they? And like they had all the fireman's kit from like the 1970s, like the big sort of itchy and scratchy jackets and that. And I just think, again, it's that thing of the government just like, oh, I know what we'll do. If in doubt, like, fuck these trade unions, fuck the bin men, we'll get the army in.
I wonder where they stand now, because when we was in the army, there was no health and safety. The army wasn't under health and safety executive, was it? It was, obviously, there was still risk assessments done with things, but they wasn't held accountable by the health and safety like civilians. But now I think they are.
You reckon?
I'm sure health and safety has got more involved.
See, I remember going, and I've mentioned it before, when we went to strip out that heli landing pad in the Falklands, and we were like, you imagine it's like the big metal container with pipes and that, and then all this. And there was no scaffolding. It was like sort of just rip it down with safety in mind. But I remember there was this one pipe and that, and I can't remember why. Like, I don't really remember. Basically, the staff sergeant down there, he said, right, we'll come back in at the weekend when the boss, like the troop commander, ain't about, and get it done. And I remember being stood on this like 3-foot trellis, So like up in the air with this Makita circular saw hanging like that, leaning out to get this pipe right. And it's gone through this pipe. And as it's gone through this pipe, this aviation fuel's just gone psh, over my face. And I've like looked at this staff sergeant and he's gone, don't worry, if it's going to go, it'll go up the pipe and that. And I'm like, yeah, Sam, mate, Sam, let's get it done. But hey, I'm still here to tell the tale.
I've done lots of stupid things. I know when I was in Iraq on Warriors, we had all the extra armour.
Yeah.
To do any work on the tracks or change the wheels. It was just a lot of hard work. So we used to put legs where legs shouldn't go. They had to lift the tracks over and that. I nearly broke my ankle once. My foot buckled over on itself.
Yeah.
And the boss was our officer was there. He just went, I haven't seen nothing.
Yeah.
Walked off.
But that's the thing. I think all the health and safety was on the like the officer in command or whatever.
He just walked off. He went, I'm not having nothing to do with this. And he left me there with my foot like mangled. And so
cheers, sir.
Yeah. But I think I said, go on, you go away. You're getting the shit for this. So all the lads come in and they got the track off my ankle and I was all right.
Yeah.
I don't know why, my leg was like my ankle was.
Well, you said walking back up the hill to the campsite at the weekend. Didn't you say you've got arthritis in your ankle?
Yeah.
Could be something to do with that, mate.
Possibly, yeah. Well, yeah, because a couple of years ago I fell out of a machine at work and I snapped a ligament in my ankle.
Yeah.
I reckon that started the arthritis now, so now I really suffer with it.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, that's why I don't like running.
Oh, yeah. Who does? Perverts. Right, you got any other news?
The Tank Museum in Dorset
has
opened a Russia-Ukraine war exhibition.
Okay.
When I went down there a few weeks ago, it was they was getting ready for it, and the bloke said it's really impressive.
Yeah.
Because I was looking for the Challenger 2 in the museum, and they've got one, but it's not a proper Challenger 2. It's like must be like a prototype. Saying there's things on it that are not how I remember it. If you know what I mean. Yeah. But I know like a lot of the ones like Bovington Camp, there's a Challenger 2 on the front gate there.
Yeah.
But I say it's not a proper Challenger 2. There's a lot of different things. Can't give you an example because I don't remember now. But yeah, they had prototypes and stuff like that. So it must be one of them. But he said they've got a proper one in there and they've got a lot of stuff from the Russia-Ukraine war.
Nice.
Anyone, especially like this time of year in the summer, people going down to Weymouth, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Have a look. The RAF women's team beat the Army 4-3 to claim their 5th consecutive inter-service title.
Nice. You love the old sports results.
So yeah,
I
think the Army women need to really sort of
get their act together.
Yeah, because they keep losing.
I saw I did see the Royal Engineers football team are into the final of some football thing.
The FA Cup, is it?
Yeah. Not again, done it. Yeah.
And there's another thing. There's been a lot of discussions whether the UK and France could protect Europe because they're the only countries in Europe with nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
And it's quite worrying, isn't it? And when you look at the facts, like the UK have only got one submarine on operations at a time.
Yeah.
That is it. With America, they've got a few more.
Quite a few more.
And France are the same. I think they've got one nuclear sub that's on operation.
Yeah.
They've also got the planes. They've got nuclear bombs and missiles.
Okay.
So they can launch them by a plane.
Yeah.
But it's if that nuclear sub got compromised over, that's NATO. Well, if America pulled out of NATO, it's quite a.
Well, I've got somebody I know works down at Devonport Dock where they. So the story I know is one of our nuclear subs is out on patrol. One of them is in Devonport being refitted, and possibly 2 are up at Faz Lane, or one's I don't know. But apparently, maybe the other year, like the UK was sort of days away from failing on its commitment to the NATO patrol treaty or whatever it is for our nuclear submarine, because the one in Devonport Dock, like we didn't have the parts for it or something.
But what it does say to me though is this: we are very important in Europe, and I think the EU need to. I think this is a bargaining chip really for this immigration thing and all that.
Yeah.
Why aren't we using it a bit more? You know how important we are to protect.
Yeah,
Europe.
of course.
And I've seen a lot of talk lately about a European force or something.
Oh right.
Basically preparing for America not to be there.
Yeah.
And I just think that's stupid. I get it, these discussions have got to be had. But if America get wind of that, the way Trump is, he'll just go, bollocks to you then.
Yeah.
You don't want me? I'll pull all my troops out of Europe.
Yeah.
I'll pull all my... How much money is that going to save America?
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know.
Well, I don't think he can completely pull out, because it's like the, what is it? The US air bases, Mildenhall and Lakenheath up near us. Like the main reason they're there is because they got the old early warning system for sort of the nuclear missiles from if Russia deployed them.
But Europe, though, I don't think he'd do that to us.
Yeah.
Because we have got closer ties with America, I think. And his mum was Irish or Scottish.
Scottish,
So
yeah.
Hopefully she's still alive. Probably not.
No, have you seen how old he is?
He's got a golf course, though, so he's not going to want to...
Yeah, but the old jocks hate him, don't they?
Yeah, but he's going to want to protect that, so...
Yeah.
But no, but I can see him reducing numbers in Europe.
Yeah.
If these comments are being made and these discussions, because it's a bit of an insult, I think, to America.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, America is NATO. Without America, you know, they are... I know we slate them and that, but they are a world protector. Like the whole Team America thing, what they do, I know they don't always get it right, but look at the Yugoslav wars and all that. It was Bill Clinton that pretty much stopped it. A lot of that. I know atrocities still happen and that, but it's I don't know. I'll say, but the European leaders just seem set on war, which I don't like the idea of.
No,
because it only ends up one way, really, doesn't it?
People dying.
Yeah. Like young working class men.
Yeah. That's who it falls on, doesn't it? All the politicians see a dollar signs.
But at least they get a medal.
Yeah, true. Did you see the that was it. So there was this obviously I think that since the last, God knows how long ago we recorded, but we had April Fool's Day, haven't we?
Yeah.
And some veteran bloke who's on TikTok, he put on a video about the Veterans Medal being authorised, and some ex 5'9" Commando Royal Engineer who owns a clothes shop down in the West Country fell for it, hook, line and sinker. And I was thinking about, I did look up his number, we should give him a ring. Be like, hey, all right, mate? Oh, God. Any other news?
Yeah, I'm just looking now, like there's some ex-Commodore.
What, Commodore 64?
No, Navy one.
Oh, right.
He's saying that the UK have got this carrier strike group that are going on a patrol to the Pacific, I think.
Okay.
Bloody long patrol, I wouldn't want to walk that far. But he's saying, like, you know, it's a decent strike group without the Americans. And it's like, again, why are you saying that?
Yeah.
We want the Americans. Like,
But they'll just be on the piss out there, wouldn't they? Navy. That's a Navy patrol.
Yeah, that's what they do, don't they?
Fucking scumbags.
Bum each other and get pissed.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the listener sit rep. What have we had in the last 2 weeks, Steve?
But we recorded it this time.
Yeah, we'll record it this time.
We just done about 10 minutes and then we forgot to record.
No one will ever know. Apart from it's on the cameras.
Yeah. Right, so Firehead, he was sent to Iraq in 2003 to find weapons of mass destruction.
Yes.
Rab, he said it was bullshit, but he enjoyed stagging on Honer ranges, guarding 14 Challenger 2s with nothing but a pickaxe handle.
Yeah. Who were they scared that was going to come and...
The Russians.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'd imagine if they was going to try and get 14 Challenger 2s, they wouldn't have anything more than a pickaxe handle.
Nah, yeah, of course.
You'd always want to be a bit more tooled up in the enemy. So
yeah.
You know, it's a nice pickaxe handle.
Yeah.
I think it had like a metal edge around the top. You know,
of course.
So, yeah. So, but he said he enjoyed the nights because he could listen to all the wildlife.
Yeah. Was there much wildlife on the ranges at Honer?
Wild boar, wolves.
Yeah.
I used to be scared. I used to go up and sit in the guard tower after. I was sitting on the top of a tank.
What was her name? The who was that female in your squadron?
Pam the Wildebeest.
Yeah.
My mate Bingo, we know Bingo. He said the biggest load of bullshit he encountered in the army was Billy Bremner. Billy was he was a bloke in 2RTI. At one point, he was the regimental provost sergeant.
Yeah.
The RSM, he's called him a sheriff because he was
bastard, was he?
He was a tough bloke. He would pull people up for everything.
Yeah.
And he said when he was in Iraq, the lads had just got in from a 24-hour op on the ground.
Yeah.
And he went in and ag-eyed them for having dirty boots and not shaving.
Bloody bastard.
He was my troop sergeant right at the end of my time, and he was sound, to be fair.
Yeah.
Damo said he painted the rugby pitch green. Mick Knowles, T-Rex, he painting a grey Nissan hut grey in Belize just because they could.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Another bit of bullshit was the toucan rule in Bosnia. Every Friday, he'd go to the plumbing stores and get load a Bedford up with plumbing bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And Pivo, which is a massive can of beer. He said the the 2-can rule didn't situate how big the cans were.
Yeah.
And I said to him, "What's Pivo?" He said, "It's a Bosnian beer. It's the only beer that gave him a hangover." And he said it was a hangover so bad that it would kill 1,000 tankies.
He's getting boring, isn't he, Steve?
Yeah, he's got little arms. So.
See what I had to put up with.
Yeah.
Imagine working with him every day.
Terrible. Got a voice note from Sleecho or Sleechy.
Sleechy, he's a fan's favourite now, isn't he?
Yeah. Hope 'cause he lives in the Midlands. Hope his bins are getting collected.
Yeah. Well, he may get called up.
He might do. Yeah.
Imagine that.
Voluntary services.
Yeah. What's he saying?
All right, lads, how's it going? All right, Stu, Steve, Chizard. In fact, where is Chizard? He's probably still doing the 5 mile of death, isn't he? Still hasn't finished it yet.
We'd like to know where
anyway,
he is.
Just a quick one on punishments, but I'll give you the quick run-up to what happened to cause the punishment. Right, so based in Hona, Germany, Steve knows what this is like in Hona. It's fucking just chaos. As soon as you knock off on a Friday, everyone bomb bursts into the battery bar, company bar, squadron bar, whatever you do. Throw as much ale down your neck as you can in the afternoon. Go to the cookhouse at 5 o'clock, have your scoff, shower, shit, and then you're out in the piss. Anyway, so come out the battery bar, walked into the cookhouse, and I saw 2 of my old mates that I was in training with, and I was like looking at them thinking, they look fucking weird. You know, you don't realise at first, and as I got closer, I was like, where's your eyebrows, lads? To both of them, no fucking eyebrows. I went, man. Just got ambushed as we came out. They came out of their battery bar that was opposite ours, got ambushed going into the block and had their eyebrows shaved off, and they were like, we're going to get fucking revenge, going to have some tea, and then we're going to get our revenge. I was like, all right. So anyway, so we come out the block a couple of hours later maybe, and all fucking hell had broken loose over there, because our block was opposite to their block, 129 batteries block, and all hell had broken loose. There was blokes running around, there was fucking not an eyebrow in sight from the blokes was all running around. And apparently what had happened is a few of the lads had their eyebrows shaved off, and every time someone got the eyebrow shaved off, they then joined in with like some kind of fucking eyebrow shaving hit squad, chasing blokes around the naffy, around the camp, around the block. And someone had decided that everybody in the camp, everybody in 129 battery in their block, which is all the single living in blokes, that's a lot of fucking blokes. I mean, Steve will know, those blocks are big. And someone had decided that that's it, everyone has got to have their eyebrows shaved off. So it's just fucking chaos all weekend. The whole weekend there was fucking fights, eyebrows all over the place, this hit squad chasing people. And by the Sunday, I mean, we were just laughing our heads off. By the Sunday, apparently there was just like 2 blokes left who managed to evade, they escape and evaded, and managed not to get their eyebrows shaved off. And they, in the end, fucking on the way back to the block, ready for Sunday block jobs, they just gave up. And went, go on, just fucking do it. It's their eyebrows shaved off. So what we're talking about here is an entire battery of people, bar the pads, from full screw downwards, with no fucking eyebrows. So anyway, it was just fucking chaos all weekend. So their battery sergeant major, obviously, he gets wind of this. And on the Monday morning, we also had a batch parade, and so did they. We walked into the cookhouse, and their BSM had them out on parade early, and he was like, right, you fuckers, everyone take their berries off. Not an eyebrow in sight. Every fucker, not an eyebrow in sight. It's fucking hilarious. And he was going, you embarrass me, embarrass the battery, blah, blah, blah. You're all in the fucking shit. Right, you've now got half an hour to get back in the block before the proper batch parade, and everybody will parade with eyebrows. Anybody that hasn't got any eyebrows is going to the fucking guard room until they grow eyebrows back. So some of the fucking blokes legged it back in the block, and they were like trying to pencil in eyebrows and, you know, nice and fine so they didn't look too ridiculous. And they all managed to get some kind of an eyebrow back on. Anyway, BSM had him on parade, and he was like, right, you fuckers. He went, you will keep them eyebrows drawn on until they grow back, and if I catch anybody without any eyebrows, you're in the fucking guard room. It's as simple as that. So it went on for a couple of days. They're fucking round camp with these drawn-on eyebrows. Whole fucking battery's worth. It was ridiculous. But you know what troops are like? They're like, yeah, let's have a DOS with this. And what they started to do, you remember those Lumi pens that you had to draw on maps and things? You know, them like permanent black and red fucking Lumi colour pens. What they started to do was just draw like massive fucking eyebrows on their heads in like jet black fucking felt Sharpie pen, like, you know, Lumi pen. They had curly ones that covered the whole fucking forehead, eyebrows coming down the face. There's even some ginger kid who drew on a massive pair of red eyebrows on it. It was fucking ridiculous. Anyway, they just started taking the piss and just turning up on parade with these fucking huge eyebrows. In the end, even the BSM found it funny, and it was like, right, fuck off. Get rid of the stupid eyebrows, but no more fucking eyebrow shaving. But it was mad, honestly, lads. Fucking should have seen an entire battery of fucking blokes with massive drawn on Lumi pen eyebrows. It was fucking brilliant. Anyway, lads, that took a bit. That did. All right, take it easy. Speak to you soon. Ta-ra, bye.
It's funny, that, isn't it?
Fucking funny bloke.
What? That was the thing, wasn't it? Because you just couldn't fall asleep anywhere on the piss because you were at risk, wouldn't you?
I remember I went home after about 3 years. And my mum was like, "Oh my God, you've got eyebrows."
Yeah.
For about 3 years, she hadn't seen me with eyebrows.
Yeah.
There was always one missing. And it was me, my mate Matt Adoc, and my mate Donners. We would always have our eyebrows missing.
Yeah.
And my mate Jay Cartwright, he was the fucking worst one for
What,
it.
the in-betweeners?
No, he's not here no more, actually. But he's like
Sorry.
same name as the in-betweeners here. But he was the fucking worst culprit for it.
Yeah.
And he lived next door to me at one point, and I remember fucking catching him and I fucking chasing him around the block. But I remember, like, I'd wake up in the morning and I'd make a cup of tea and you'd pour your kettle out and the fucking razor would fall out the kettle. It was his little trademark. He'd shave your eyebrows off and put it in your kettle. So he's a fucker for it. But he was the champion eyebrow shaver off.
Yeah, we had not eyebrows, but did you ever have D-keg?
Nah.
So it was like D-keg was where you bloody short pants someone. Do you know what I mean? So if you're on PT parade and you got shorts on, like someone behind you go, D-keg, go! And basically whip down your shorts. And obviously if they weren't tied up, then you'd be stood on parade with, well, in your pants or naked. And like there was a drill. Like, and you had to be on top of your game because my mate Jacko, he'd have you at any opportunity. If he was in the vicinity, you had to be switched on. And all you did, as soon as you were you had to like basically go into a squat position and pull your knees out so that he couldn't de-keg you. And it was just horrendous. Like, honestly, like especially like after the piss, you're on parade and that in the morning, PT parade, you've got those little pesty shorts on and he's behind you. If you switched off, it'd be like, de-keg, and it'd be like, everyone, you turn around, someone stood there like with their cock out, like, oh, God. Oh, Jacko. But yeah, funny what we've done to each other, wasn't it?
Yeah, all good fun. Creasy, who wasn't there this weekend. Right, this is disgraceful. I've had a bit of a row with him.
All right.
Because he wants
serious, was it?
Yeah, because he wants to be an officer, so he didn't want to associate with us lot in Weymouth. So that's why he didn't come.
Fucking wanker. That's brutal. That is.
Yeah. So I'm not sending him a Christmas card no more.
No.
Because he's desperate to be an officer.
Bloody hell.
It sounds like one.
Yeah.
So, but he said one of the bullshittest things he ever encountered was to take ration packs onto an RAF flight, you've got to take out the matches. So he said like pallets of 24-hour ration packs.
Yeah.
Had to get people to take the fucking matches out.
Yeah. Well, because interestingly, so even on a military flight, you're still governed by civil aviation law. So like things like weapons and sharp instruments had to be stored in the hold.
Right.
Like you couldn't, there was no like, just because you're on a military flight, it's still governed. And interestingly about military flights, so I don't know about when you went out on Herrick 10, but for us on Herrick 11, so we went down to Bryce Norton, and we flew from Bryce Norton into Minad, the air base in the UAE.
Yeah.
And this flight was a chartered flight of Estonian Airways, right?
Was there like livestock in there?
No. The complete. Well, there was livestock, but the air stewardesses, mate, were at like Eastern European stunners, and you got all these blokes going out on a 6-month tour. Like, oh my God, yeah, that was nice. Thank you for that, the MOD. But so the question for this week, or future weeks, if you want to answer this, have a think about it. What was the dumbest rule or task you ever had? What was the dumbest rule or task you ever had to follow in the forces? Have a think about that. Send it in to Steve. What's your email address, Steve? Can you remember after all these weeks?
Steve@themusterpoint.org.uk.
Well done. He's got that down to a T.
I've got it written on my hand.
Have you? Oh, tattooed
Got a
as well.
tattoo.
You've used your tattoo gun, haven't you? Yeah, contact Steve because I'm not interested, to be honest with you.
Fair enough.
I am, but
Mick Knowles has sent me a voice note.
how is it?
About some bullshit.
Is it good?
It's Mick Knowles.
Oh God, here we go. Go on then.
Hi, Steve.
Was it in an air turbine?
one for your
Wind
bullshit.
tunnel.
Back in, Jesus, when was it? 1990, fucking way before you joined up, mate.
You're old, Mick.
We flew to Belize on a 6-month tour, and we had to fly out in shirt and tie. Not only that, about a year before that, we went to Australia via Seattle, Hawaii, and then on the way back via Singapore and Bahrain. And yes, once again, we had to fly out in a shirt and tie. 24 fucking hours on the flight to Australia. And then 24 hours back, roughly. Yeah, and a white shirt. Fucking minging. Absolutely minging. No washing facilities when we got there. Well, there might have been, but we just went on the piss. So the same kit went on 10 days later when we flew back. And it was like fucking wearing a fucking cardboard shirt.
Ugh.
Absolutely minging. Take care, mate. You're doing a great job. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Cheers for that, Mick. It must be horrible.
Yeah, it was.
I don't have to go to Alicante after a couple of hours fighting or minging.
Why'd you? What? I've never heard of that. Was it a requirement? Shirt and tie. They have higher standards back in the day, did they?
I know when I learnt to drive in the army, you had to parade in shirt, tie, trousers, and shoes, carrying trainers because you couldn't drive in. It's hard to drive in shoes when you first drive. So you're carrying trainers. So you have to march down to the training school, and put your trainers on. You still have to have trousers and all that on. Yeah,
Strange.
I don't really get it.
Yeah, but as we said, it's all about bullshit, isn't it? And that's that is a fucking massive amount of bullshit.
Yeah, Matt A. Doc, he said armory at 5:30 for transport.
Yeah, we've got plenty of that, haven't we?
Yeah, 20. He got ROPS, and that was painting curbs and HLS, litter picking in Fallin, Boston. He said when he was doing litter picking, he'd hide in someone's room, playing PlayStation, and just empty their bin into his bin bag to make it look like he'd been doing litter picking.
Yeah.
But he said his brother was in the artillery based in Osnabrück, and he said he was the same, painting grass and fucking litter picking. My mate Bill, he said he had a job once removing daisies from the grass.
Yeah, nice.
David P. polishing tanks for a CO's inspection and oiling shovels. I remember once we
I remember having to oil a shovel. Actually, a shovel.
I never had to do that. Oh, I might do it to my own shovel.
Yeah.
Shed.
It makes it easier to dig with.
No, I remember once we had a CO's inspection or something. Someone had the idea of polishing all the tanks with diesel.
Okay.
Makes the gold shiny. The tank meant to be camouflaged.
Yeah.
We rubbed diesel over it. It was nice and shiny. And then I think the troop sergeant got up on the tank and went flying off the side of it.
Quality.
Paul the sailor, he got caught being drunk on board a ship. And he got 7 days punishments. And part of that was he had to polish bronze cannons outside the guard room every morning between 7 and 8, just as everyone else started work. So they all laughed at him.
Yeah.
Susie, he said he don't understand why we polish brass that no one can see. You know, like, I don't know about your cat badge, but the tank regiment's cat badge with a brass plate inside of your berry. Especially when I was at Bovington in phase 2,
Yeah.
you'd get beasted if you didn't polish that bit of brass. And then behind you, collar dog.
Oh yeah, the collar
Yeah,
dogs.
you have to
Yeah.
polish that.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Yeah. Dipping them in brasso.
Yeah, Craigo, he said he was beasted by the Provo and had to bumper floors, walls and ceilings with one of them old cast iron polishers. I do remember seeing one of them.
Yeah.
He got jailed by the adjutant for having a speck of dust on the brim of his. He got jailed by the adjutant for having a speck of dust on the brim of his peaked hat on a medal parade rehearsal. He got beasted in the jail for an hour, so he was soaked in sweat, puking up, and hardly able to stand, and then got sent away for a show parade in an hour's time.
Quality.
And then he got jailed on his birthday in phase 1 because the sergeant major couldn't find anything wrong with his kit. and he got beasted by a horrible para who made him sweep the road with a short-handled brush. But he said on ranges once he saw a Welsh lad got booted in the head for shooting with both his eyes closed.
Yeah.
And he said to the training staff, like, I don't know whether to laugh or cry, Sarge. And then got another kick in the head for gobbing off.
Fair play to him. Fair play.
Dan Clark, he and I remember this, painting a fucking tank completely green as the black made it look too aggressive in peacetime. It's a fucking tank. What is peaceful about a fucking tank? I think Dan's a bit bitter about that.
Yeah, it sounds it.
But it did. Our tanks, were, like most vehicles, were black and green.
Yeah.
And because it was too aggressive, we had to paint them all green.
Okay. Well, is green a friendlier colour?
I think so, yeah.
Right.
120mm gun sticking out the front of the tank. It's not aggressive.
Yeah.
And my nephew Tommy, during COVID, they was all in Kenya and their flights got delayed, so they had to sleep in the desert, whatever it is out there in the bush, under ponchos for weeks.
Yeah.
That's a bit of shit. Bottle, in phase 1, he farted very loud on parade, and his punishment was to carry a massive heavy rock in a shitty issued black day sack. The rock eventually ripped through the bag and fell on the floor. He then got show paraded by the bloke that made him carry the rock until his new day sack arrived.
Yeah.
All that for farting. Yeah.
Right, moving on to Frontline Focus, Steve. Talking about our own bullshit experiences. Right, things like, what we got? Pointless inspections, standing around for hours, last minute parades. You got anything that you can remember? I've got a few. Do you know what still fills me with sends shivers down my spine? That's having to go to the stores to sign anything out. It was like even when I was a lance jack, like the lance jack in the store, he'd have some sort of superpower over me.
Yeah.
Like, I'd go in there with fear.
Yeah.
And like I was lucky I had a little one stripe to protect me from shit. But the sappers used to go in there and I'd be like cowering, like thinking, fucking hell, they're getting it.
I found with the storemen, you had the ones who were just arseholes because they were just arseholes.
Yeah, like bitter.
And then you had the ones who didn't want to be a storeman, they was doing it because they had to.
Yeah.
And they was all right. But the ones who were arseholes were the ones who'd been in there for donkey's years, like the one I went to prison for. That one. That's all he ever done. The whole time I was in the army, was in the stores, just arseholes. And I don't know why they was arseholes. I remember when I first got to the regiment, I went to the stores. What's your number? 2516. Nig.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm new. Like, you've got to be new at some point.
Yeah, exactly. But it was things like you'd obviously, what was it? Your 1157 was what, like your issued
that was
kit.
Yeah, that was all your
like
uniform
basic stuff.
Yeah.
And that, yeah.
And G1098 was your webbing, Bergens, and all that, wasn't it?
Was it? I can't.
I think.
Was
it the other way around?
Well, 1157, I thought was all your personal issued stuff.
Yeah,
so like your uniform, boots, helmet. I thought like your webbing and Bergen come under that, like your DOS bag and all that sort of stuff.
I thought that was G1098.
And then for us, our G10 was full of like your engineering stores, like your Makita kit, tents, stuff that you didn't get personally issued, as it were.
Well, hopefully someone can tell us about that.
Yeah, some ex-storeman or current storeman.
Be nice.
But I just remember...
my mate's the RQMS.
Oh, yeah. So, what's his name?
I won't say.
Okay. But I just remember after, like, say you needed something, like, to do your job. Like, I need some batteries for something.
Yeah.
And you'd go to the stores and you'd have to jump hoops. And they'd be like the SS, like, interrogating you, going, what do you need that for? Like, can you sign here? And, like, you'd, like, sign out a pack of batteries, but it wouldn't be. They'd be like, oh, you can have these too. It's like, fucking hell, mate.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to do my job here.
You go to stores, can I get this? Stores are for storing, go to issues.
Fucking hell, yeah. Stores are for storing, yeah. I remember that one. Counting bedding, bloody bastard.
Blanket counters.
Yeah. What else have I? Well, weapon cleaning, come on. And it was always on a Friday afternoon when everyone wants to bombast, or the weapons haven't been cleaned in 6 months because we haven't used them. So we're going to get them all out and clean them. And it was just a absolute ball ache, wasn't it? Like the entire squadron parading outside the armory, and like you'd get your own rifle, but because the squadron's got like obviously an excess of rifles, you'd have to be cleaning, and it was just a load of bollocks, wasn't it? Like, And do you remember, I don't know if we used to have this thing where, because obviously you're cleaning the carbon off it, aren't you? And technically carbon's a lubricant, so it should in effect help the rifle work.
What annoyed me though is you'd have some second lieutenant stood there at the window, inspecting people's rifles.
Oh yeah,
that really.
That's not good. You got a bit of carbon, man. And it'd be like, oh, do you remember your weapon cleaning kit? And what was the flannelette? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, has anyone got any flannelette? And like, you'd be sharing.
Well, you'd always get this because like the Jimpy one was twice the size.
Yeah.
You'd always get sometimes you wouldn't have the right one, but you just rip it in half, and someone would always
get stuck in the barrel.
Yeah, they'd rip it a bit too big, and then got to see the reamy.
God.
We had in the tank regiment. We had armourers, but they were called gun fitters.
Okay.
So I don't know if they'd done the same. They'd done both roles because the gun we had a gun, probably the same as artillery. There was a gun fitter, instead of an armourer. So they used to get the ump if you got a pull through stuck in the barrel.
Give it a pull.
They used to have to do this thing with the gun fitter used to go down to the tank park and you'd have to use ratchet straps to test the recoil of the gun.
Okay. So
they'd pull the barrel, obviously it recoils a lot, pull it all in, and then they'd sort of like press a button and it'd release the straps, and it's quite impressive to see it. But
how much carbon come out of the barrel of a tank then?
To be fair, it wasn't that bad to clean.
Did you have to get like a skinny sprog and like chimney sweep and push him down?
No, we had like staves. We had a pull through. And it was,
I'd just crack up when I hear that pull through. Give me a pull through, mate.
If someone farted a lot, you need a pull through. But yeah, we'd pull it through, and it never got that dirty. To be fair, you had a thing called the BVA, but it's like the bit at the back end of the gun that seals it. I can't remember.
Okay.
BVA, OB, I don't know. But anyway, that used to get really shitty.
Yeah.
But again, it wasn't that bad to clean, really. Yeah. It was one big lump with some like shims. So it's not like a rifle. You've got loads of little bits. And so it wasn't too bad to clean.
Yeah. Do you remember? I know we mentioned about painting grass green and sweeping the dirt, and we always used to think, I used to think like some of these like high-ranking officers, like brigadiers or 5-star colonels or members of the royal family. I like no wonder like military accommodation and is in shit state, because when they turned up, everything was pristine. There was no patches of dirt, there was no leaves. I remember leaf collecting.
Yeah,
it's like that. Oh my god, it's like in the middle of autumn, like with a high wind. It's like what?
It's the same where I work now. Like we'll be trying to get £10 million investment to get a new machine or something replaced.
Yeah,
so let's make it look really nice and. Like, why are you doing that? Like, let's polish it till it looks brand new. Oh, you want it to look like a piece of shit. Like exactly what you're saying. Like you're polishing a turd.
Yeah, exactly.
But you need it to look like a turd.
What was it disguised? Op wide awake. So Op wide awake was the drill, which was called in like there's been a terrorist threat or something.
Yeah,
we're gonna search for stuff, but it was also when it used to like basically litter pick and stuff.
Yeah, because it just gets everyone together. Yeah.
Op wide awake's been called. Fucking get your black bags out. It was just shit like that. Like honestly, any member of the royal family or high-ranking officers must walk around military bases thinking, I don't know what all the bad press is in the media, because these places are beautiful,
lovely painted curbs,
painted curb. Bloody hell! But it all started in basic training, didn't it? Like inspections and. Buffing corridors.
My dad said to me, when he dropped me off, he said, like, bullshit baffles brain.
Yeah.
I remember him saying to me, polish the hinges, the top hinge, because they're eye level. I thought nothing of it, but I did it, and it does it. If you walk into a room and the hinges is like really shiny, fucking hell, they really care about this room. And so things like that, this attention to detail.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? For me in basic training, it was like, at the end of the day, that you can always find dust, can't you? Yeah. Like if you look hard enough, you can find dust. And as long as if we got pulled up on a Tuesday inspection, there's dust there, then just make sure that the next inspection there's no dust there. But I don't know about you. So like we done the phase 1 training, and it's like the bullshit, and you sort of you understand it. It's part and parcel of it. Then we moved on to phase 2, And you sort of you think to yourself coming towards the end of phase 1, it's like, oh yeah, the bullshit will get easier. Phase 2, nah, it's still bullshit. Anything now, I'll be all right. Once I get to my unit and that, it'll be fine, wouldn't it? Like it's working man's army. No, there's still fucking bullshit. It's like relentless, isn't it? Never ending.
Bobby, phase 2, it weren't as bullshitty, but there was still bullshit. And I think once a week you had a locker inspection, but there weren't a locker layout. It was just the locker had to be presentable, clean, tidy, everything folded nicely. So it weren't that bad. But I know one of the biggest bullshit things for me was Bobby when I was there. PT was like every Tuesday morning or something. Yeah. We didn't do much PT because we was there to drive tanks at the end of the day. But our PT consisted of, there's about 50 people or something, but they had a minibus that could hold about 12 people.
Yeah.
So the first 12 people they picked done PT, and if you got people used to hide in their lockers, sitting in lockers reading a book with it all on. But you got taken to another camp down the road, and there was a little gym, but all the PT was running to a flagpole the other end of the parade, and it was just for half hour. It was flagpole, and then after about 20 minutes, it was right. Last 5 go again, last 3 go again.
Yeah,
and it was just
pays to be a winner.
Yeah, and it was just bullshit. It weren't PT. It was just a beast.
Yeah. But as we said, it never got easy. Like it was like that dangling of a carrot, wasn't it? Like, oh yeah, well, once phase 2's over, it'll be all right. But it carries through
until you're married.
Okay,
and that used to piss me off because the married lads get away with it.
Yeah, living on the patch.
Yeah, even like young lads who literally 18 years old, they're getting married. Yeah, they go live in the married quarters. They get treated differently, and that used to piss me off. They
got away with like they didn't have to attend some of those bullshit.
Yeah, and I remember like in Tidworth, we get called together, probably like up wide awake. They say, right, we're going to go and clean the married estates, the pads. We'd have to walk around picking litter up at people's and there'd be some disgusting bird smoking roll-ups and just flicking her fag butts on the floor, laughing at her. So you just think,
fucking wankers.
Yeah.
Do you know? Obviously, part of basic training was ironing your kit, wasn't it? Mm. What was your views on ironing kit when you got to your unit?
Never did. Nah. Got my creases sewn in and got
you got them sewn in, did you?
Well, ours was a boiler suit.
Oh, right.
So you got your crease. Because the way it worked, you wore black overalls with only a white name badge, black and white name badge. Once you've done your gunner's course, you've got a crease sewn in your back from shoulder to shoulder. And it identified you've done a gunner's course. And then once you've finished all your training, you're a tank crewman. Yeah. A full crewman. You got to wear a tank badge on your arm.
Yeah.
That's normally after about 2 years, something like that. And then obviously you got your stripes when you got promoted. So, and to be fair, you just, because those fucking overalls, they're going to get dirty. But so we used to just wash them and get them out of the tumble dryer and hang them up straight away. And didn't have any creases on, so that was good enough, really.
But that's what I'd done. I just pulled my kit out of the tumble dryer and it was there ready to go. And my view was like, there's no straight lines in nature, sir, so fuck off. But it was just, I don't know, like, that ironing kit, I know it's like a military thing, isn't it? Yeah. Like, do you know the new, obviously we had Combat 95. Yeah. What's the new one? MTP or something. Is it? Because that doesn't look ironable to me, or...
I don't think they do. I know I've seen the jackets, and they've got hand pockets. Like, you know the pockets on like your hips?
Yeah.
In the sides, they've got little zips and fleece-lined pockets for your hands.
Fair play to them.
You've got air vents, zippable air vents in the armpits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
You get looked after. But it just seems pointless to me because you can't put your hands in your pockets.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to. Maybe they're allowed now.
To be fair, no one gives a shit in my regiment unless you was walking. If you got caught with your hands in your pockets walking, then no, it's a no-no. Yeah. Down the tank park, no one give a fuck about your hands in your pockets.
Yeah. A big one for us, going back to that, the G10. So we, like, there'd be a regular thing. Do you remember the 10 by 10 tents? Like proper thick and heavy tentage, wasn't it?
It smelt like a tent.
Stank, didn't it? Like every so often, we'd like have to pull them out to inspect them and then put them away. Like, and these things were fucking hard to get back in that casing.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And it's like we checked these 4 weeks ago. Like, why are we doing it again?
Yeah. Oh, we had to actually, we had to do our tank toolkit. But everything on a tank was called a CES.
Yeah.
Complete equipment schedule. And it was everything from the periscopes, you could take all them out.
Yeah.
So the spanners, and every month we were supposed to lay everything out.
Yeah.
You normally done it as a troop, so 3 tanks worth, like everything out. Your troop sergeant calls out everything. You stand there with it in the air. Yeah, I got it here.
Yeah.
And that was bullshit. It's like half times the tanks haven't moved anywhere, and if you, God forbid, you lost something, it was the worst thing in the world. But I don't know anyone who got billed for anything. And the amount of times people drop spanners in the engine like that when they're doing stuff, and it went underneath the engine, and you can't get it out no more.
Yeah,
You got to wait till the engine gets taken out, and they do get taken out. And quite often you find sockets and spanners, and I've got some buck shoes. But it's like, it's a spanner. It ain't the end of the world. It's really not that bad.
Did you have to first parade your tank?
Yeah.
'Cause that was a massive thing, wasn't it? Even if you had like duty wheels, like the old fucking standard Vauxhall Astra or something from MT, it'd be like first parade it.
Yeah, I remember one of the first things was look at the attitude of the hull and suspension and make sure it's sitting. Like I've never known anyone to see one that's sat wonky.
Yeah.
But with the suspension, it's hydrogas. It's really good suspension. But
I take it this is on a tank and not a Vauxhall Astra.
No. They sit a lot higher.
Okay.
I think it is. So when they're just sat there, when you start driving, I'm talking rubbish. I think it sits a bit lower. Anyway, once you start driving, the height changes.
Yeah.
But it's really good suspension. But yeah, and then you check all the oil levels.
Yeah.
No one done it though. That's the thing.
Yeah. And to be fair, that was probably one of the more important tasks.
Yeah.
Especially some of those Army Land Rovers or the old Bedfords that hadn't like. You could still first parade them every day and they'd still fucking break down.
A lot of people with a tank, they just had to look underneath, make sure if there's oil underneath, then it's got an oil leak. And that was about it, really. I don't really know anyone who done the full first parade. There weren't no like forms to fill out or nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you remember like always having like going on exercise or something, and it'd be like you'd end up having to put like we're deploying on exercise on Monday morning, blah blah blah. Transport leaves at this time. We need you to parade at 10 o'clock Sunday night, and everyone's like, I mean, like fucking hell, like, as if my fucking weekend couldn't get ruined by the army anymore. And then you'd end up parading Sunday night. Everyone's there. Right, get your fat ones down. Right, re-parade at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And it's like, couldn't I've just come in on Monday morning? Like, yeah, you could have, but you're not going to. And then it'd be like, again, signing weapons out of the armory for exercise. It's like, transport leaves at 1300, lads. Sorry, get my terminology right. Transport leaves at 1300. Right, be at the armory 0745. So what the fuck?
And then there's no one there to open it up.
No one's there to open it.
So you stand there for an hour until someone gets the guard room, open it up.
And then on the reverse of that, you'd get back off exercise on a bearing in mind, the index had been called Thursday night or first thing Friday morning. And it's like, right, you get back to your squadron or whatever, your accommodation. But the armory's booked in to hand weapons in at like 8 o'clock at night. And it's like, can't we just open it early? No.
So in Fallinbostel, our armory was in the cellar below our block. It was next to the bar downstairs.
Yeah.
It weren't that big of a deal because you just went down the bar.
Yeah.
And just waited for the armory to open. Someone come in, the armory's open, go and hand your rifle in. And to be fair, my regiment weren't bullshit when it comes to rifle cleanliness.
Just the Royal Engineers then.
Yeah, no, a lot of infantry regiments because that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
With ours, it weren't that big a deal really.
Yeah.
Like the Gymppies and stuff like that, they get minging when you find a lot around. And the chain gun as well. But to be fair, with a chain gun on a tank, there's not much to it. It's really simple. So just give it a quick wipe over and it's not too big of a deal.
So the other one was, do you know, again, it's this thing of, so as engineers, we done basic training, phase 1, phase 2, went to Chatham to do our trade training, then got posted to your unit. And then after a certain amount of time, we'd come back to do more trade training. So like our advanced trade training, as it were. Now, our trade training was done down in Chatham, like the Royal School of Military Engineering, which was also the HQ of the Royal Engineers. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of, what do we call it? Fucking arsehole officers, like very high-ranking people cutting around. VIPs, should we say. VIPs of the Royal Engineers, if there is such a thing. And so as you can imagine, there was a lot of bullshit, and there was obviously you've got people that are straight out, like basic training sort of people, to then obviously more senior people come back. And then there's also like your clerk of works courses. So there's a whole range of different ranks and experiences down there. So I remember going back on my class 1 survey course, and by this point I was a lance jack. And you think, and you've been at your unit for a bit, so you're like, yeah, like know what the army's about, sort of thing. And you come back and it's basically like going into basic training, and like there'd be so much bullshit, like having like you had to be mindful of how you couldn't just like cut around camp. I'm not saying you had to march in twos, but it was like very much people would be on you. And I remember, so bearing in mind, I've said it before that the survey course in the Royal Engineers it is intense. Like it's like it's an undergraduate course, and particularly the class 1, which is HND level. So like you'd be down, that is your main focus. Your main purpose is to complete your training and all this and do what you got to do. But then there'd be like Remembrance Parade, or I think we like the Freedom of Medway Parade. So you'd end up having, which would involve basically marching through Gillingham, Rochester, and all this bollocks. So you'd end up having to get up at like 4 a.m. to do like weapons drill on the parade square, to then go and do like 8 hours in the classroom of like heavy, intense maths. And it'd go on for weeks. And it was like, what the like, I get it that the military has commitments and there's that pomp and ceremony side to it. I get that. But we're fucking marching through bloody Medway City, right? And I'm pretty sure, like, okay, have a little practice, because some people may not have done drill in a while. Make sure you're not teddy bearing or TikToking everywhere. But, like, I just remember it breaking me, thinking, like, why am I doing weapon drill and then having to sit in a classroom all day? And the thing is, I think I mentioned it before about, like, the drill instructor would be getting, like, you're getting it wrong, thrashing you. And then you get to that point like a week before, oh, well done, lad, you're getting it right now. But because I was saying, like, there's obviously varying degrees of experience and whatever. And I remember there was like one of the guys on my course, I'm sure, was like a drill instructor. Like, he had like, I don't know if you probably didn't have it, but he wore like a different cap.
Oh no!
And I'm sure it was like, so it didn't, like, the peak on it was
it was flat, yeah, like the guards.
Something like that. Maybe, but so this was his thing. Like, he was like I think at his unit he was like the provo corporal. He was like a drill instructor, and he's getting made to get up early in the morning and do this drill and that. And he's like, this is fucking bollocks, mate. Like, did you have anything like that where you ended up sort of back in that?
In 2008 we was getting a new standard from the Queen, and we had to go to Buckingham Palace. So we done so much drill before that. We done a rifle drill competition.
Yeah.
Our regiment, we didn't have proper rifles. We had carbines.
Okay.
Can't do drill with them. They're tiny little things. So we gathered enough rifles for each squadron to practice with a squadron's worth.
Yeah.
And we done competitions. And then when it comes to doing the regimental stuff, like, we ain't got enough rifles. We scrap the rifle drill. We just do foot drill. So, we would just, our rehearsals were just standing there for hours and hours in the sun, just getting sunburnt, not moving, and having Welsh Guards scream at us. Because we had this detachment of like Welsh Guards drill sergeants, and they were screaming at us. It was horrible. But we went to Buckingham Palace, stood there for hours, and that was it. Really, it just seemed absolutely pointless because we never done drill, and when we didn't swing our arms properly. We just sort of marched in step.
Okay, yeah.
We just called it the tanky shuffle.
Yeah.
We had the tank park shuffle, we're sweeping up, and then the tanky shuffle was marching.
Which is a ceremonial.
Yeah, it's a ceremonial. But no, it was never a big thing. Our parade we used to do every year was the Canby Parade, and that was our regimental day, and that was the drill we did. But even that weren't. It was all pissed as a fart because we had a massive party the night before.
Yeah.
And no, I remember my first year, we was all stood outside the squadron offices, and all the sergeant majors come out with a pint in their hand at 8 o'clock in the morning before the parade.
Yeah.
And had a pint. And it was just like fucking mental. So it was never a big thing in my regiment.
Yeah, I remember. So when I come back injured from Afghan, as I shared in the last episode, I spent basically from coming back from Afghan to being fucked off out of the army, I was mainly at home. But I did. So I do remember I spoke to a guy called Ginge Waller. So he was my survey instructor on my class 1 down in Chatham. And obviously, like the word goes round to what's happened, even in the Royal Engineers being as big as it was. And I spoke to him and I said, like, oh, can I come down to Chatham just to have like a little refresher course to like, because I'm getting out. It's like to help me. So I'm just thinking, like, I do remember being off my nut a lot of the time, but I must have had a little bit in there thinking, planning for the future. Although, to be fair, it turned out that I just spent 5 days down in Chatham on the piss, meeting up with blokes that I hadn't seen in a while. But I do remember, because, so I was in deserts, because obviously all my green kit was all stored in the MFO boxes back at my unit. And I remember turning up in Chatham, like in my deserts, and getting grief for it, because it was like, again, because it's like, well, who's this bloke cutting around in deserts? Like, just been blowing up. I had one eye. Fucking, I remember, what was it? One of the sergeant majors like, you come here. It's like, what the fuck do you think you're doing in deserts? And it's like, I remember my face is still buckled. Like, I'm like, who said that? And just he's like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, cheers, mate.
When I was in the Irish Guards, I was a bit like that. When you was in Badger Airport, you had to be up out your bed at 8 o'clock. Even if you've been out on ops all night, 8 o'clock, you had to be clean shaven out your bed.
Yeah.
I remember me and my mate Skid and Jeffro, we was at the P-Jock, which was like a little outpost, and we was the last ones there. And we was only meant to be there a couple of weeks, but I think we was there for about 6 weeks in the end. We had no food. It was horrible. And we hadn't showered for weeks. And we got told, like, last minute, right, we're bugging out, grab anything valuable.
Yeah.
We left ammo, everything. You know, I think basically grabbed the Bowman kit. We're going, and we bugged out. Went to start the Warrior, and it wouldn't start. Like, oh, shit! So that had to get towed. We all got in the back of a bulldog.
Yeah,
and it was disgusting. So we hadn't showered in weeks. We'd shaved every day. We got told to shave. We didn't have much water, but we still got to shave. So we all shaved. But we got back to Badger Airport. And we went like Squadron HQ offices, and Sergeant Major and it's OC, and they were all like, "Good to see you, lads. You need to have a wash." Like, like, they weren't funny of us. And this Irish Guard lieutenant come in and started shouting at us for the condition of our kit. And I think our Sergeant Major told him,
to do one.
Basically sorted him out. But it's just like you can see that we're not taking the piss. Like, you know, we've clearly been fucking doing something.
Yeah. Well, I remember in Afghan, I was on the Grenadier Guards battle group, and the guards RSM, the guy, I can't remember his name, but he's the one that died when the Afghan National Police bloke turned rogue. But prior to his death, like, it'd be like the word would go out. Even you could be in a remote patrol base and you'd be expected to be shaved and looking like a guardsman on bloody Buckingham Palace. And to me, it was just, I know there was a lot of anger and resentment about this with the blokes, because it's just like, I've got other things to be thinking about. And especially when you ain't washed, you can't get a proper wash, you can't get proper water. You've been out fucking, like, it's dusty, it's fucking hot, it's sweaty, and you're trying to have a wet razor shave. It's like, oh my God.
When I was in Afghanistan, and when you was out on the ground, you didn't really have to shave. Like you say, so when I was in Afghanistan, when you was out on the ground, we didn't have to shave. Halfway through the tour, our OC changed, and he decided we will shave. So I think we was getting issued 5 litres of water a day. Yeah. And with that, you had to shave. That's one of the reasons you didn't shave, because there weren't no water. And it was just, and our first OC, he weren't even a tanky. He was a Queen's Royal Lancers, proper nice bloke, sound bloke. And he insisted, though, in Camp Bastion, we didn't wear floppy hats. We wore our berry. Yeah. We all went, what the fuck? But actually, he went, no, I'd be proud of who you are. Be proud of the black beret. Yeah. And it's like, fair play, yeah. And we did. We wore our berries with pride, whereas everyone else...
What? Pride? Who's pride?
Pride. With pride. You know, everyone else wore floppy hats. So, but it wasn't a bullshit thing. He was doing it to be proud of who you are, sort of thing. But, I say the shaving out on the ground and stuff like that, it was absolute nonsense.
Especially because out on the ground, so I think I mentioned before, Fob Shawcat, we had the old Royal Engineers NBC water distilling machine, which is like on a trailer, and you could hook it up, and obviously it kept you hydrated, but it didn't taste bad. It just tasted empty.
It's got nothing. It's reverse osmosis.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
it removes everything from the water.
Yeah. Because it was that thing, like when you come in from a run or exercise and you have a nice glass of water and it's like, whereas this would be like
liquid. Yes. Yeah.
But when you were out in a patrol base, you got issued or you got given bottled water, and to be obviously it was in short supply, and to be told to shave with it, it's a bit.
Well, we was out in the desert, literally like doing OPs in the desert and stuff like that, and we got 5 litres of water a day, and it's like, it was fucking ROC insisted everyone shave. There's no NBC for it, you know? But talking of being a Shawcat, when they first built Shawcat, the engineers built a well, but it was chlorinated water, so everyone in camp had to drink chlorinated water. It tasted of bleach, disgusting. Because we was going out on the ground, we got bottled water. We had so much bottled water that we had a drinking competition, so you could drink the most water.
Quality.
So you got all these lads, all these like Welsh guards and logistics all stagging on and drinking chlorine for water. And we had a competition. It's Northerners versus Southerners. I think we got 3 litres.
Your dog farted. It stinks.
Yeah, she keeps farting. I don't blame my dog. But so we had a competition. We all got 3 litres of water each, and it was like Northerners versus Southerners, about 5 in each team. Who can get rid of their water the fastest?
Yeah.
It was disgusting.
Oh.
So after about 2 litres, you got no room left, so puking up. And, it was horrific.
And these poor fuckers.
Yeah, these poor fuckers are rationed. We're just puking up into a big grenade box.
Oh well.
But they was really anal, like you said about the guards. And I know, like, we'd have a lad die, and we'd get back to camp, and our way of getting over it, if you like, we'd all sit down and have a little bit of decompression, and then we'd make a cricket bat out of something, a bit of wood or something, and we'd make a ball out of black nasty. We'd have a game of cricket or rounders, and they didn't like the fact that we was laughing and joking. We were like, this is how we deal with things, There's no point being like doom and gloom. You got to get on with this, We'll remember him once we're done.
Yeah.
But their RSM didn't like that, so we got told, you stop having fun. One of your lads has died. Oh, right, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
But but that was our way, and then we'd get pissed on homemade cider that no one knew we had. Get the medics to get the laughing gas out.
That's it. I mean, there's no escaping it, is it, in the military? I mean, I know we're quite biased because obviously we've only got one perspective, having served in the army. So it'd be interesting to hear from some of our Matlow or Air Force contingent.
Yeah, I know. Ben, the sailor, he got involved a couple of weeks ago. He said like they used to have to hoover up puddles on board their ship.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
that does sound like bullshit.
Yeah. With a Henry Hoover.
Anything else from him?
No, not this week. No. We did have a funny thing. Craigo, he said that this was from a couple of weeks. He sent me this, but it was from a story a couple of weeks ago when we spoke about alcohol. He said in the late 90s at Keogh Barracks, which is part of Aldershot, him and his mate pulled a couple of howlers in Cheeks nightclub.
Yeah.
They got back to camp, but had missed scoff, so they broke into the cookhouse and found a tray of pies and a massive block of cheese. He said he ate a block of cheese, and his mate ate all the pies, and then they headed back to the block for some sleep. And his mate was eating his third pie, and then he made this desperate cry of, "Oh fuck no, please help me, I think I've made a mistake." Then a massive comedy wet fart, and he completely shit himself. He said the pies were raw, and he'd shat himself for about 5 minutes and was trying to catch it in his bare hand. He said everyone heard it, and everyone come out of the block and laughed their heads off.
Nice. I'm just thinking, what do you reckon? What do you reckon some of the RAF bullshit would have been? Like having to cook your own dinner
Polish your own boots.
Yeah. That'd be bullshit for them, wouldn't it?
Poor fuckers.
Yeah. But yeah, if you are from one of the country's other services, let us know about you. What classes as bullshit for you? Be interesting that. Very army heavy, aren't we? But
yeah,
well, I'll blame Chizard. Like
he's our minority group.
Yeah. Where is he? Where actually is he?
I don't even
know. Oh, fuck him. All right, that's it for Frontline Focus for this week. You got any other worthwhile listeners sit reps? Or because obviously on that earlier one there was loads of them, so I can just edit them in.
Yeah, got 20s story.
Did you listen to it? Did you?
I actually wrote it out and I read it out, but he's actually sent me a voice note.
Oh, he sent you a voice note. Right, so we've got another sit rep from Steve's mate, Twinny. Now, it feels like he hasn't been part of the show in quite a while because in the early days, we made that, he sent us in that video, he didn't send the video in, he sent that voice note in and you couldn't fucking understand him.
He made fun of us. Sorry, we made fun of him and he sent me a written letter.
Oh, did he? Did he write being scarce?
I couldn't read it.
Oh, Steve was in scarce. All right, come on, let's hear this message in.
Fucking never witnessed it, lad. I fucking did it. When I was in Germany in Fally, on my fucking 21st birthday, I was meant to go home and I ain't got fucking that ROPs. What did I do? Smashed. I think I threw a pint glass. I think that's when I got buzzed first. Threw a pint glass at fucking Fabian Barthez and fucking Laurent Blanc when he was kissing his head. On a footy match. And they made me paint the fucking curbs, lad. I had to paint the curbs and then paint that fucking helicopter fucking thing in the middle of the praise square.
What the fuck?
My twin brother had to do that painting grass green in the arsenal. He was in
Yeah.
Senegal. He went, I don't know where he was, in Germany somewhere. Osnabrück, that's it. But they were artillery, that's what they're like, aren't they? Fucking do some mad shit, them lads.
Yeah, so thanks for that, Twinny.
It's fucking... He's got to put that on, hasn't he? Surely.
He'll be there on Friday.
Will he?
You get to meet him.
Fucking hell, I can't wait. Have we mentioned about Friday?
No, we haven't actually.
Yeah, give me
we
a
might
little
have done. I don't know. It's
No,
been so long.
not that it matters because... Oh, actually, so this episode's going to go out on Friday.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, because it will go...
Well, we put it on our Facebook page, didn't we? I made a post.
Yeah.
Put it on there.
Yeah, but so basically when you're listening to this now...
The Tank Regiment would have beat Watford.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, so basically, what's the...
I'll give you 50 quid, they will.
Oh, right, yeah, because I'm refereeing it. You got the one-eyed referee
Yeah.
from Beds County Football Associations coming down. It's
I think it's 11 aside, isn't it?
yeah, 11 aside. I've been requested to play 40 minutes each way because there's a distinct lack of fitness, and rolling subs is a must. But we've got a little. Have we got that little surprise for the?
I think so. Yeah.
Excellent.
It's on its way.
Yeah, good.
So it'll be funny. Yeah, no, it's a good laugh. It's just a good way for veterans to get. It's just an excuse to meet up. And at the end of the day,
Yeah.
no, it's mainly tankies, but the Watford veterans, I don't know where they come from. Probably all different.
Watford, surely, no?
No, I don't know what service.
Oh,
I
right,
don't know if-
okay. Yeah, all right, yeah,
I'd
yeah,
imagine it's
yeah,
probably like a local
yeah.
British Legion or
Yeah.
something. Got together, but
And
yeah.
old Luther Blissett, the old
Yeah.
ex-Watford and England player, is going to be down there.
I think he's the Deputy Lord Lieutenant of Hertfordshire, something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yep.
But,
Sounds important.
But him and his wife, I spoke to his wife on the phone. They're very pro-veterans.
Yeah.
I think they took over the British Legion.
Other day?
Yeah, so
What? Nationwide.
no, their local.
Is this who we have to blame
yeah,
for it?
yeah, no, their local branch was
Yeah.
doing much, or things weren't being run like they should be, like a lot of them, and they've
They've
stepped up a
taken.
bit,
Oh, that's
yeah.
good. It'd be interesting to me. And then we've got Watford Corporate Hospitality.
Yep.
I don't know how that's going to go down when I'm wearing my Luton shirt in there. As you said, we're going to piss in some plant pots.
Yeah,
But it's going to be fun. Hopefully Steve will bum me a few quid and the Tank Regiment will win.
why not?
So that's this Friday, which is, I can't even think of the dates. I'm not even going to try.
The 18th.
18th of April.
Kickoff's 10 in the morning, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think Burnley are playing Watford,
it's Burnley, Watford,
so
or Watford, Burnley, because Watford are at home.
that's the one.
I'm driving you down there, and I, Steve,
Yep.
so you can have a few beers.
Yep.
Right. I'll tell you what, I've got more listeners sit rep. So I just want to give a shout out to Bottle, who is, what's he doing? He's doing that walk around the Isle of Wight, raising money for Squaddie's little soldiers. We've made a little Facebook video on him the other week. Maybe you've seen that. If you haven't, look it up on our Facebook timeline and start donating him money because he ain't got a lot and it's a good cause. And also alongside that, my mate Sam Stone Street, I think he's 2 weeks off running the London Marathon, also raising money for Squaddie's little soldiers. And I'm going to create a Facebook video about him as well to promote it. So get your hands in your pockets and try and raise some money for a very good cause. Any thoughts on that, Steve?
No, good luck to them both. I say, I won't be there for Smithy because it's on the Isle of Wight. It's too far away.
Yeah.
I'll commit to that. But is it 104 kilometres?
Something like that. It's quite a
It's
distance.
It's impressive. So if there's anyone who can go there, please get in touch with us if you can't get the details or whatever. But it'd be nice for people to support him.
Yeah, exactly.
And your mate Sam, I'd like to try and somehow get to the London Marathon.
When is the London Marathon? I know it's 2 weeks away, but I take it it's 2 weeks Saturday. Oh.
If I'm off work, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
One of my mates, my mate Brett, my best mate, he does traffic lights for a living.
Okay, fine, yeah.
He does them.
Yeah.
But he puts them up and takes them down. And because all the ones on the route, literally, I think they just plug in. You can literally pull them out.
Okay.
Not saying people should do that. But so he does that. So I might go and get a lift with him.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, so look out for the video about Sam Street's training. He's smashing it, considering his body's knackered through.
Because you put a big concrete block in his bag, wasn't it?
Well, that was all down to me. Yeah, we'll make a video on that, shall we? Yeah, we'll have some fun.
You little rascal.
Yeah. Right, going on to the Bravo Zulu shout out this week. So we have mentioned them before, haven't we? In passing.
Yeah.
But we're gonna. I think it's next Monday. We've got an interview lined up with them for the Beyond the Wire. So look, this week's Bravo Zulu shout out is to the Military Veteran Football Club. Their details can be found online at www.militaryveteranfootball.co.uk. And basically, they're a organisation established in 2022 by Dave, John, Laura and Russ, 3 veterans and a pad brat. Bloody pad brats, they get everywhere, don't they? And they're primarily based in the Northeast, and they organise and run both five-a-side football sessions for military veterans and serving forces. They currently have various sessions in different areas of the UK and are continually looking to expand into other areas, regardless of your age, size, gender, ability, length of service or arm of service or leg of service, depending on what way you swing. You're all welcome to come join them for a kickabout. I'll put the details in the show notes. And as I said, the next episode, well, maybe not the next episode, but there will be a forthcoming episode on Beyond the Wire where we'll be speaking to Dave, John and Russ. I don't know if Laura's going to be there, maybe. But yeah, what do you reckon? I know, because obviously we've mentioned about this football thing we're doing and that they are separate.
But it's the same idea, though, isn't it? That's just,
yeah.
And like I went to the Millwall one again. I think that was
different again, was it?
Yeah, but I think they talked to each other. They got the idea from it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's just an excuse to get together. I've never liked football. I've never liked playing football.
Yeah.
So it's never appealed to me.
You mean you're not playing this Friday, Steve?
I'm cheerleader.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry.
But if it was like a fishing club, I'd be more inclined to it. But then it's not a social thing. So, But like I say, whatever it is, whether it's boxing, cycling or whatever, it's just good to have some sort of a social group with a common interest.
That's the thing. And I think for those of you that listened to Ash from THH the other week on Beyond the Wire, he mentioned that he's heavily involved in Everton veterans football team. And apparently, so Ash is, well, he must be a pretty good footballer because there's a Veterans World Cup this year, I think.
Oh, right.
So it must be a big community,
Yeah.
whether like set different organisations running it, but it definitely seems to be an initiative that is taking root. And I know, I just mentioned there that Ash said about Everton veterans team, but we've been contacted or finally been contacted by our local club, Stevenage Borough, and their football foundation. And they mentioned that they've got plans in the future to do something similar. So, yeah, I guess it's just that it's another excuse to meet up with fellow veterans, chew the fat, have a little bit of a kick about, because obviously exercise is always good to blow out the cobwebs. And, yeah.
When I was at Millwall a few months ago now, I was chatting to all different veterans, and because I was raising money for the Tank Regiment Association, so they was coming straight up and talking to us, and I met some good blokes there, and we had a right laugh. And the other thing as well, like one of the blokes there, Sam Weller, I think his name was, he's he was in his 70s, I think, but his dad was in the artillery, I think, and he had like a pennant or a flag or something. It was his dad's, and he said he'd been on his wardrobe for years, so he wanted to find a new home for it. So he give it to the football club.
Yeah.
So they could have, it's just something to display in their club or whatever. So I say it's just a good way of just.
It's another community to join, isn't it?
I say it's keep the memories alive.
Yeah. Good.
So we're at the part of the show where we like to remember people. So this is the Muckers Remembered, and I think, Stu, you're going to start this one off.
Yeah, so Jo Woodrow, a colleague from my place of work, mentioned about her late father-in-law. And her late father-in-law was Lance Corporal Bernard William George Springett, 22286382. And he served with the Army Medical Corps. And he passed away on the 13th of March 2025. And he, I think, from what Jo tells me, she remembers that he served. I think it was national service he done. He spent a lot of his time out in Malaysia back in the day. And yeah, she sent me a picture here as well, which I'll make a video out of. But yeah, we'd like to remember Lance Corporal Bernard William George Springett of the Royal Army Medical Corps. Yeah, that's another nice connection.
Yeah, definitely. I say people could send us voice notes, videos, or just a text or something. We can mention their family members, friends, neighbours, anyone. Just get these people remembered. Because unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, if you die while serving, you're remembered. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not saying you're not remembered, but you're not.
Yeah. Well, I think what you're trying to say is that you don't just die. Service personnel don't just die at war, do they?
No.
Like a lot of us, the majority of us, leave the forces, get old, and have other lives, and then pass on. And it's I know it. I think I know what you're trying to say.
All my family, my dad, both my granddads, my great granddads, they all served. They're all cremated and spread over a bit of grass now. There's nothing.
There wasn't no military send off.
No, there's no memorial for them.
Yeah.
So
it's our way of remembering.
Yeah.
It's good. Keep them coming. So that's it, Steve. We've had 2.5 weeks off, or 2 weeks off, whatever. It feels good to be back.
Yeah.
Sat here in my Union flag waistcoat. We've spoken about some bullshit. The running theme is painting grass green. How do you think it's gone? Do you feel good to be back?
I feel good to be back.
Yeah.
I feel charged up, ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where we get? Well, is that after your little ruckus with the man with the knife?
Yeah, and I've got work tonight, so.
Oh, have you? Fucking hell, poor Steve. Yeah. But I'm going to try and put some longer video clips on because I've been having some teething issues. Because this is the thing, people. We're not Joe Rogan sat in a studio with bloody all these producers and editors and social media people. We are literally sat in Steve's dining room, aren't we?
Yeah,
with
my
his,
dog farting.
his stinking dog. In Stevenage. And I do want to. I'm going to do like an MTV Cribs video one day when we get time of what our studio setup is. But yeah, well, we're doing what we can do, aren't we?
Yeah, that's all we can do.
What do we want to do next week or the next episode on? Any ideas?
I did have some ideas.
Did you?
Yeah. Where's my bit of paper? I need a bit of paper. Insults from training staff, sergeant majors.
Yeah.
Funny phrases they come out with.
There you go.
Or funny sort of punishments they would give you. Not proper punishments, but silly things. My section commander used to come in pissed up and make us do naked press ups.
Fuck it.
One of them things.
How old were you? 16. Well, there you go. There's one for next week. Look forward to that.
In the pipeline, we've got the prank one.
Have you been setting that up, have you?
Yeah, we're going to do some pranks, but we'd like to hear other people's pranks.
Yeah.
Sleechy's got a few.
Nice. I still want to do the live episode.
Yeah.
I think we need to wait for Chizard to come back, if he ever comes back. So yeah, we've got some things to look forward to. We got hopefully in the next episode we'll be able to get back to you with how it went with our local member of parliament. We'll be able to tell you the football result from the Royal Tank Regiment Veterans v Watford Veterans and whether the referee got filled in afterwards. And yeah, so we've got the VE Day stuff coming up. We're going to start promoting that. Come along if you're that way inclined.
I'm going to Buckingham Palace on the 16th of May.
Ooh.
If anyone else is going, because it is the Not Forgotten Association invites people from different organisations and been picked. But yeah, if anyone is going, please get in touch.
Are you secretly getting a knighthood?
No, just an OBE.
It's not island, isn't it? I want to see you in the House of Lords, like a life peerage.
Yeah, sleep. Pissed up.
Yeah.
With me knob in my end. Watching tractor porn like the other bloke.
Oh, God. How the other half live, eh?
Yeah. No, but yeah, if anyone else is going, please get in touch. It'd be nice to meet up with other people.
Yeah. Do you know what role you're meeting yet?
No, they don't announce it.
Secret squirrel.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's the Duke of Kent.
Okay.
Because I've met him in Iraq.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Telix 7, he come out to Iraq because he was in the Scots Greys.
Yeah.
She's now the Scotch Dragoon Guards.
Okay.
And he was about 75 then. And that was 2005.
Yeah.
And I just remember he was massive. He's really tall, probably 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
Just proper down to earth. We played shithead with him.
Yeah.
And we made him lose. Yeah, no, just a proper nice bloke. So I'm hoping it's him, but I'm not sure if he still does the royal duties. He's always on the balcony and all that.
All right.
But,
what, with the SAS?
yeah, he's one of them, yeah.
But yeah, that is pretty much it for this week. So I hope you weren't too disappointed about missing out on an episode, but
we did a Beyond the Wire, though, didn't we?
We did with Darren from Veterans into Logistics. So
I thought that was a really interesting one, a really good one.
Really?
Yeah. Like, obviously, it don't benefit me at all, but I think that would benefit a lot of people.
Yeah,
listening to that. And
like the guy, he's really switched on. To be fair, and like it was so good to hear that he's all about the collaboration. He's like, look, like if you're a veteran, just give us a shout, and we'll fucking sort you out. Yeah. Like, I think that's the attitude, isn't it? Like nothing would seem to be a problem. Like he could work around stuff.
He's got a lot of contacts and definitely.
Right, you ready for this, Steve?
I'm ready.
Right then, before we fold this one under complete bollocks, we somehow survived. It's over to you lot. We've all been there, following mad orders, filling out forms in triplicate, and getting stitched up for something that made zero sense to anyone except the bloke who thought it up.
Yeah, and we know our listeners have got plenty more where that came from. So what's the most ridiculous thing you've ever got ordered to do? What rule made you question reality? Or what task had you convinced someone upstairs was taking the piss just for sport?
Send us your stories, whether it was a guard duty with a broomstick, painting curbstones in the rain, or the infamous camnet inspection, and definitely wasn't in the doctrine. We want the lot.
Voice notes, DMs, dodgy photos, hit us up. Find us on Facebook at the Muster Point Veterans, X or Twitter at the Muster Point, TikTok at the Muster Point, and YouTube at the Muster Point Veterans.
And if you're involved in veteran support, helping blokes navigate the minefield of Civvy Street, or just out there being a good egg, drop us a line. We'll give you a proper Bravo Zulu in a future episode.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate the podcast if you like it, or even if you didn't. Just be creative in the comments. Share it with your old mucker who still has PTSD from trying to get a leave pass signed.
Next week, we're back with more mayhem, memories, and a fair bit of Mickey taking. So stick around. Until then, hooray! Fall up!
Laters, legends!